And today we are going to be making another birthday card, and actually this is a card for my husband. As I said in one of my previous videos, my husband and my close friend granddaughter share the same birthday. So we're going to be making my husband's card today. Now the card that we're going to be making is going to involve some paper piecing. So if you're not a fan of paper piecing, you might not want to make this card. But then again, you can still sit back and watch if you don't want to make the card. This is a Snapdragon Snippet card, and there were no instructions on her website to make this card, so I had to try to figure this one out. And this does involve some time in trying to figure out how to lay it on your mat. At least for me it did, because of what I decided I wanted to do to make the card. But I'm going to walk you through how I did it. So what does our card look like for today? This is the card that we will be making. And I'm going to bring this up because, as you can see, I put a secret little message for my husband. He and I know what this means inside the keyboard. So come on and join me, and I'm going to show you how I made this card. Okay everybody, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how I laid this out on the mat. Now I'm not going to show you every piece of what I did, or even the print and cut for my inside layer of the card, but I am going to give you a good idea of how I figured out how to lay my pieces out. So this card is another Snapdragon Snippet file, and I purchased it on the Silhouette website. It is called the Computer Monitor 5x7 card. So we're going to double click on this, and as you can see, it opens up with all of these pieces. Now when I first saw this, I thought, I'm not sure what pieces I'm going to use or what pieces I need to use. So it did take me a minute to figure out how I wanted to lay this on the mat. And you can lay yours out on the mat the same way, or you can do something different, because a lot of the pieces I will not be using. I've gone ahead and done something a little different. So what I needed to do first, or what you're going to need to do first, is you're going to go ahead and ungroup everything. So I'm just going to right click on here and click ungroup, so that I can start ungrouping some of my pieces. So we do know that we want this portion because this is your actual card base. So we'll kind of move this over and leave that alone. And then I'm going to be using this piece as well. And then I'll be using this piece. And then also this piece, because this is going to be in the inside here, along with, we're going to be using, let's see, we're not going to be using this piece right here, so I'm going to move this over here, and we won't be using these pieces, so we can just group these together and move them out of the way. You will be using this piece, so we're going to go ahead and group this back together because we want to put this all as one. So we'll move this over. We'll just put it on our mat for now. And I will be using these two pieces as well. So I won't be using this one nor this one. So I believe that is it. Okay, so we're going to keep the card the same size that it is, and then we're going to cut out a piece of cardstock with using this piece. And then this piece right here is where I put my little message that I'm going to be put in the card. So in here, this is when you would use your print and cut. You would go ahead, pick out the text that you want to use, and input that text, write out your text, and then resize it to fit within this window, and then set yourself up for the print and cut. Now I'm not going to go over and show how to do the print and cut, because in future videos I'm going to be doing just a few silhouette lessons on what some of these icons are. I'm not going to do it on this video, but I will be doing it in coming videos. So now this piece is, like I said, is what you're going to use for your print and cut. Now to get the little message that I put inside there, I once again used my text tool, created or picked the font that I wanted, and the fonts are the fonts that are on your computer, and there are some fonts that I have actually downloaded to my computer. Once I picked a font, and I'm just gonna take the default that's here right now, and I typed out my letter that I wanted. Once I had my letter, I resized it until it fit within the little spaces that are acting as like the keys on the keyboard. And this once again is when you'll do your print and cut. The other thing that I went ahead and did was I wanted to have another layer on top of this layer, so I went ahead and cut or set up another layer, or actually I took the oval, I took and made a copy of this one, so I'm just going to right click on this and I'm going to click duplicate, and then I lined it up along here and then just went ahead and resized it till I got it to fit exactly the same size as this one. The other thing you could do is you could also go up to your draw a rounded rectangle tool and just draw one like so and match it up this way. So you can do it either way you want. So I'm just going to delete that real quick. And then for my inside, I wanted to have an inside sentiment that I could do the print and cut again. So I took this piece of the card and I actually did a duplicate. And I'm just going to move this over to here so I can show you. And then I took my knife tool again and I just held down my shift key and then just went across so that I could cut this in half and just have just this piece right here. And then I typed in what I wanted my inside sentiment to say, and then I used the print and cut once again. So that's just a quick way of how I laid this out on the mat. And as I said, in upcoming videos I will be giving some Silhouette Design Studio lessons on how to do print and cut and some other features and some of these other icons that are listed up here. So now go ahead and lay your pieces out on your mat and then meet me back at the table and we'll put this card together. Okay everybody, so let's bring up the supplies and we'll get started with this card. So now what I've done is I've gone ahead and cut my card out, and I'm going to, or I'm sorry, I already did that. I went ahead and inked my edges using the Stampin' Up! Going Gray along here on the front of the card. So now we're going to start putting, before we actually put our computer on the card, we're going to start doing our paper piecing. So we're going to start off with the first layer, which looks like this. So you should have cut this layer out. And I'm just going to move this over to the side for just a minute. And then we're going to put on our next piece, which is this piece right here. And I'm just going to lay that on top like so. So I'm going to use my Tombow to put this on rather than using the two-way zig pen. So we're going to get in all these little spaces here and get some tape going all the way around. And then we'll add this to our top layer, or our bottom layer rather. So and get that piece of tape out of there. And I'm just going to bring this close to me for just a second so I can see to line this up. And we're going to line it up like so. I'm a little bit off there on the edge, but that's okay. So now we'll continue adding our layers. So the next piece we're going to put down is we're going to go ahead and put our little white layer down here. So that's going to go on top of there like so. So once again, I'm going to just use my Tombow to get some tape on here. And then we're just going to put this piece down. So I'm going to pull this a little bit closer to me, and I'm going to start on this side over here and work my way across. And we're off just a little bit, so I'm going to pull that up if I can. Doesn't look like I can, so we'll just go ahead and lay it down like that. So the next thing we'll do is we'll add the next layer, which is our little piece that we cut out that looks like this. So, and I'm going through and showing you all the layering of this because as I said when I was showing you how to lay this on your mat, this took some studying for me to figure out how I wanted to do this. So if you're making this card along with me and you're making it just like I did, I'm going to show you exactly how I'm putting my pieces down. So this would be my next piece, which is the piece that is the top layer for your actual keys on the computer. So this one we are going to, I think we're going to use the Xyron machine for this one. That way we'll make sure that we get enough glue on here rather than using the two-way. And I'm going to use my little sticker maker to do this. So I'm just going to run this through like so. And then you tear that off. And then what I do so that I don't get all of the glue in the center there is I just take an embossing tool, or in this case I'm using my petal flower roller, and I'm going to go inside each one of these holes so that when I pull this apart I don't have the glue in those spaces that we have here. And you'll see what I mean when I pull this up. So I'm just going to run that along there and along there, and I'm sorry if I was shaking the camera when I was doing that. And then I run it along here on the edge like so, so that when I peel off the top layer you won't have the glue in each one of the individual holes. So as you can see, there's no glue. Well, there's one I missed, but you get the idea. So we'll lay this down next, and this is going to lay on top like so. And go ahead and get any little glue balls that you have on there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put the little letters that I did the print and cut feature with. And I've gone ahead and also inked the edges of those using the Stampin' Up! Going Gray. So I'm just going to get them all out. And then I'm going to start putting them on my keyboard, and then I'm going to add my sentiment that I have here to go in the center like so. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting these pieces on. Everybody, so I'm ready to add my last letter on the computer keyboard. So we'll go ahead and put that on, and then we'll put our sentiment in the top of this monitor, and then we'll be ready to add this to the card. So with this, I am going to use once again the Tombow adhesive, and we'll just get some tape on here and get this on. So actually there is paper piecing with this, but it's not as much as not as much as I thought it was going to be, or as much as I thought I wanted it to be, because you could have gone ahead and paper pieced this and this as well, but I decided not to do that. So the main thing is getting it laid out on your mat. That is I think the hardest part of putting this card together. So now we've got our little computer that we're ready to add to our card. So let's bring up our card, or bring back the card, which we have right here, and this is going to lay right on top of here. Now I am going to pop this up with some foam squares. So let me get out my foam squares, and I'm going to pop this up, and then I'm going to add just a couple little embellishments, and then I'll be back. Oh, I'm also going to add my print and cut that I did for my inside sentiment, and I'll come back with the finished card and the envelope. Okay, everybody, so I am back with the finished card. So what I did was I went ahead and added these little rock pieces that I bought when I bought my rock tool. They come in a tube like this by Imaginus, and I put those in the center here by the monitor of the computer, so it's sitting right in there. And then I've gone ahead and I've added my sentiment, and then I went ahead and took the little piece that comes with the file that is supposed to represent a USB connection to your computer, and I put that inside up here at the top. And then I've gone ahead and added my sentiment, and I'm not going to show all of it because it's kind of personal to my husband. So also I went ahead and I made my envelope using my We Are Memory Keeper punch board, which looks like this, and I did the size that is 5.5 by 7. So you're going to cut your paper at 10 1/8 by 10 1/8, and then you're going to score or make your first score mark at 4.5 inches. So this paper that I use to make the envelope is from this paper pack right here. It's by DCWV, and it's called the Stack 7. So that's what the envelope is made out of. And then I went ahead and took the other file that I cut out to represent a flash drive and put that along the happy birthday. So that's it, everybody. This is the birthday card that I've made for my husband. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.